Reporting. And joining me now, John Sununu, former New Hampshire governor and chief of staff to President George H.W. Bush, serving as a senior advisor to the Romney campaign. Governor, thank you very much for joining us today.
How are you, Andrea?
I am very well, thank you. Happy Tuesday to you, and I'm wondering what your reaction is to these developments, the release of the tape, Mitt Romney's response to it, the criticism, factual criticism of what he said, including from many Republican supporters.
Well, let me tell you my take on it. My take is that you're missing the big story, which is this is in response to a president, the first president in my lifetime, who's decided to run a campaign on class warfare. And it's Obama who has opened up the class warfare issue. He attacks success. He says we need to get a hold of more money out of the rich. And he condemns those who have succeeded with "you didn't build it." And Mitt Romney quantifies this, the constituency that Obama has been pandering to, both in policy and language, as 47-47, and all of a sudden you guys make that the story. The story is we have a president who in his primary against Hillary Clinton made race a divider, and she said, "Shame on you, Obama," and in his race against Mitt Romney is trying to make class warfare a divider, and you ought to be saying, "Shame on you, Obama."
Let me ask you about what David Brooks wrote today, who has been a down-the-middle columnist, trending towards conservative. Some would say.
David is the Republican-leaning. Go ahead.
Without getting into
but don't
journalistic critique.
Don't categorize them. You started to categorize them, and I don't accept the categorization.
Governor, let me read to you from his column. He writes, "It suggests that Mitt Romney, doesn't really know much about the country he inhabits. Who are these freeloaders? Is it the Iraq war veteran who goes to the VA? Is it the student getting a loan to go to college? Is it the retiree on Social Security or Medicare? It suggests that Romney doesn't know much about the culture of America. Yes, the entitlement state has expanded, but America remains one of the hardest working nations on earth. The people who receive the disproportionate share of government spending are not big government lovers. They are Republicans. They are senior citizens. They are white men with high school degrees." The Tax Policy Center, Governor, which is nonpartisan, backs this up, showing that the people who are getting these benefits are largely white people, including the majority of people on food stamps, people earning the unearned income tax credit. Well, the suggestion certainly in what Governor Romney said.
No, it wasn't there. And that word freeloader is David Brooks's word. And the fact is that's not what the governor put out on the table. And David Brooks ought to be ashamed of himself for recategorizing what Mitt Romney said that way. Let's put this in context. You have an Obama administration that flaunts a website applauding cradle-to-grave dependency with Julia. You have an Obama website that encourages people to understand that what he is for is an expansion of government so government can take care of them. Mitt Romney puts numbers on that and says we have a campaign in which those that support big government are on one side and those support the private sector approach are on the other side. That's the big issue we ought to be debating. And you fall for this idea that by quantifying it as a 47-47 divide to start with, now you got to start parsing all these things. The polls are 47-47. That's where the starting point is. And they're battling over the 6% in the middle. 90% of America's taxes are paid with people with a gross income.
Governor Romney was not talking about the polls. He was talking about the 47-53. We know it came from Eric Erickson. We know that this has been a repeated theme.
He was talking about the percentage of people that are voting for Obama. He said he has 47. I have 47.
Bill Kristol, the Weekly Standard, today. Romney seems to have contempt not just for the Democrats who oppose him, but for tens of millions who intend to vote for him. Romney's comments, like those of Obama 4 years ago in that piece of tape that we aired, Governor, today from his comments in 2008. Romney's comments, continuing with Kristol, like those of Obama 4 years ago, are arrogant and stupid. Indeed, has there been a presidential race in modern times featuring two candidates who have done so little over their lifetimes for our country and who have so little substance to say about the future of our country? Does Governor Romney have a problem with some of his own supporters?
I don't support anything that Bill Kristol said, but he's got a magazine and he's entitled to say it. This is a campaign about how we fix things for all Americans who are suffering under Obama. You've got 23 million unemployed, over 8% unemployment. You have reduced the number of people who want to participate from 63% to only 58%. Only 58% of America today is willing to participate in the workforce. That's a disaster.
Governor, when Governor Romney was talking at this fundraiser and admittedly did not know that he was being recorded, and we can talk about the ethics of all of that. We've tried to put this in context, that this was surreptitious, that all candidates or many candidates tend to speak this way when they're speaking to special interest groups. They're wealthy donors of a particular group. However, when he's talking about people who don't pay income tax, the 47%, according to the Tax Policy Center, 44% have received elderly tax benefits, 30.4% credits for children and the working poor, 6% exclusions for other cash transfers, 5.6% education credits, 5.1% alternative minimum tax deductions and tax-exempt
interest. I don't accept your characterization of this group as an independent group. They lean towards the Democrats. But let's talk about some numbers. 90% of the taxes in America are paid by people with adjusted gross income of $66,000 or more. And what Mitt Romney is saying is that these people in that range are not the rich, that those people in that range are the people that are in the auto industry that Obama's so thrilled to tell us he saved. They are the people in manufacturing. They're the people in the information technology jobs. 66,000 adjusted gross income doesn't make you rich. And
Governor
they're paying,
Sununu, if Mitt Romney
90% of the taxes. They're paying 90% of the taxes.
If Mitt Romney had said that at that fundraiser in Boca Raton, we would not be having this conversation today, and he would not be facing what many would say is a meltdown.
Hadn't snuck this stuff out, you wouldn't be having this conversation today. You ought to be talking about class warfare, and this president nurtures it all the time.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. I look forward to our next conversation.
Have a nice day,
Andrea. It's always a lot of fun. Have a nice day to you. And next, scaling back, how the military is dealing